everybody, my name is Charlotte Pearce and I am the CEO and founder of a company called Inkpact. I'm joined today by my amazing team, two of them, Sam and David, who are at the back here. Wave, guys. Hi. It's our mission at Inkpact and us, as humans in life, to help companies and people be unforgettable. Because at the end of the day, who wants to be mediocre? Who wants to be beige and boring? And we're here to help companies do that. On the talk today, I was asked to talk a little bit about the company and what we do and our mission, and then I found a meme that said everything, so I could just leave this up here and walk away, and you'd have everything you need to know. But this meme is basically that, 10 years ago, we all were so astonished by these technology and emails, and we were so excited when we received one, and we were kind of like telling all our friends, I just got an email. But nowadays, we get so many emails. I'm sure each of you every day get hundreds of them. They're so easy to delete, ignore. But when we get something that's different in the mail and something that's really outstanding, we kind of shout about it. We put it all over Instagram and social media and tell everyone about it. And that's the premise that we built Inkpact on. And the premise of my talk today is actually let's strip it back to basics and look at the power of the pen and the power of human beings. And that can create amazing things. But you're probably thinking, Charlotte, 10 years ago, you were watching the Teletubbies. How do you know about all of these kind of things? And I actually was probably 10 years ago watching the Teletubbies with my La-La backpack. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story and how I'm standing on the stage today and kind of my journey. But the real theme about all of this is really to do with people. So I found myself as a university student 4 years ago, accidentally, I guess, came into this world of entrepreneurship from quite a young age. I think I started my first business at the age of 14, but I went to university, thought it was the next thing I needed to do, and I found myself stumbling across this organization called Enactus. And Enactus is one of the best organizations I've ever encountered, but it's basically where students all around the world start businesses that make money but also have social impact. And I found myself as a 20-year-old student running this organization in Southampton. We had 150 people in the team and 13 businesses around the world. And the year that I ran it, we impacted the lives of 40,000 people. So what I very quickly had to do was, one, step up my leadership and development skills, because as a 20-year-old kid, basically, I was having to run this organization globally. And two, I absolutely fell in love with the fact that you can make money and help people around the world at exactly the same time. One didn't have to come above the other. But what I did is I went on this personal development journey to how do I make these 150 people, how do I manage them and make them deliver amazing social change? So I went to a company called Action Coach, who coach CEOs. And I was sitting in a conference not too different from today, and the first half of the talk was about mindset and vision and values, and the second half was about marketing. And I was really there for the first half, but I was kind of sitting in the back of the room. And in the second half of the day, there was this entrepreneur called Matt who ran one of the Action Coach franchises. And he said to me, we have to coach CEOs one-on-one. It's really important that we get to know people, but I market using online marketing, and I market using emails that get a tiny open rate, a tiny engagement rate, but I have to coach someone so personally. And he said to me, I love sending handwritten letters, but I can only send 10, and then my hand hurts. I'd love to be able to send really personal messages to all of my customers. And I kind of went into my Enactus mindset, and we'd been working with people all over the UK and all across the world, people that were mothers, people that had been in prison previously, people that had been homeless. And I said, there's these people over here who would have great handwriting and would love to help you with your marketing, and then there's companies over here that need to be personal, and I simply joined the dots. And I said to Matt, I'm going to write 100 letters for you. Well, my handwriting is awful. I'm not going to write 100 letters for you. I'm going to get some people with great writing who want to earn some money to write 100 letters, and then let's just see what happened. And Matt called me the week later and said, that's the best marketing campaign we've ever done. Out of 100 people, 33 came into my office and talked to me, and I only had to sell to one of them, and I got 25 times plus return on investment. And he said to me, if you can scale this, you're onto a winner. And effectively, that's how Inkpact began. It was absolutely accidental. I saw two opportunities, and I joined things together. And we started writing handwritten letters for companies all around Southampton initially. And then I realized that that company could not be scalable. We were taking emails from people, and then we were handwriting, I was taking them to the local library. It wasn't scalable. And so fast forward a year and a half to when we relaunched Inkpact. We launched it as a technology company with a difference. So Inkpact now allows companies to send beautiful handwritten letters like this, at scale, at the touch of a button, written by real people, but all driven from an ordering point of view from technology. So the same issues today as it was when I first started the company a couple of years ago, which is how many of you use Gmail? Yeah? How many of you knew this promotion folder existed? Yeah, so not many people actually know it's even there, but when a company contacts you via email, they were very clever at just putting it straight in promotions. No one even looks at it. No one even knows it's there, but there are some people who love bargains and they look through their promotions, but most people don't. So it's getting harder and harder and harder for companies to stand out. Communication has gone from you can have very high volume, low cost, but low impact emails, text, online advertising, or you can go and meet your customers in person. You know, very low volume, sometimes impossible, high cost and high impact. But there's nothing that bridges the two in between, and that's where we found this really niche place for impact. We allow companies to send these beautiful moments at scale, so we can send 100,000 or more at the touch of a button for, you know, it is more expensive than email, but it's nowhere near the cost of meeting in person. And you can have high impact. So we built software that in a couple of clicks allows companies to send things like this. So for a customer, it's the same as sending an email. But these magical, amazing, really handwritten messages get written in the hundreds of thousands. And the magical thing is our scribe tribe. So we have hundreds of people all across the country from the ages of 18 to 80, from like Scotland to Cornwall, people that are mothers, people that have been in prison recently, people who are students looking to earn some money, and they handwrite messages on behalf of big brands and small brands across the country. So you're probably thinking, yeah, I understand that, but does handwriting really work? Are these physical moments that you send really making a difference? So every time we've ever done a test, every single person that receives a handwritten letter at least opens it. I've never, ever met anyone that rips up the handwritten message before they at least read it. So our open rates are 100%, if they have the right address. But every single time, 100%. Enhanced response rates up to 60%. 7 to 10 times return on investment on average, and increased sales up to 40%. So you might be thinking there's one type of customer this works for, and we thought that when we started the company. But actually, we have companies like Unilever, Moet Hennessy, the British Red Cross, you know, big and small companies, totally different industries that this all works for. We've done it for a range of different reasons, and we've looked at the results online and offline. So Moet Hennessy we help them write to their VIPs, their important customers, and we help Macmillan get more donations. But then we did a really interesting study where we thought, I wonder what happens on social media. So we did a test with Tesco where we sent half a handwritten note and a free gift, and half a printed flyer and a free gift. And not a single person tweeted about the free gift with the printed flyer, even though it was the same free gift. All of the tweets came from the handwritten note with the gift. This is a really interesting test that we did. So, but people say, like, well, why do you think that humans are responding so well to these handwritten messages? And pretty simply, the handwriting is a way to get noticed, but actually it's showing that to the customer that the company thinks that they're worth going the extra mile for them. So we always say to our customers, that extra mile, it doesn't have to be, you know, huge in advancements of everyone else, but that tiny little thing you do differently is really going to make you stand out. So someone asked me recently when I was doing one of these talks, what is a customer? And I thought that was a really strange question to ask. So I went to Google and I was like, what's the definition of a customer? And this is what the definition of a customer is. It's a person who buys a good or a service from a shop or a business. And I was like, oh, that's very uninspiring, but I guess that is what a customer is. And then I realized that most people focus on the good or the service, or they focus on the shop or the business. And actually, people forget what we think is the most important part of communications and business, which is the person behind it that is going to receive your communications, buy your product, do your service. And so we looked into what the 6 key human needs are from people, and we looked at them versus what handwriting does for those 6 human needs. And actually, it ticks 5 of the 6, and that's why we think it works so well. It gives the person significance. I'm important to that company. I was worth them sending a handwritten note to. It gives them certainty that the company's listening to them and cares about their opinion. It gives them connection to that company and sometimes love for that company. It gives them variety. It's not the same as they're already getting. And it gives them contribution. They know they're part of something bigger if the message is written in the right way. And then one of the great marketing gurus, Robert Cialdini, talks about persuasion. He's got a great book on persuasion, but there's this principle of the obligation to give back when you have received, whether that's conscious or subconscious. So they did a study, and they looked at a waiter that gave a mint to somebody at the end of their meal, and their tip went up 3% by giving a mint. But if the waiter acknowledged they were giving the mint to these nice people and maybe used their names, then their tip increased by 23%. And we use that same principle at InkPact. Let's send you a handwritten, amazing birthday card for your birthday, no call to action, no strings attached, and let's see what happens on your engagement for the rest of the year. But the most important thing from these studies that have been done is actually that it's personalized and unexpected. So we realize that, customers to us are people. They have stories. They engage in things. They have their own personal interests. And so we do fun, exciting things for our customers. And we think you should too. So it's our mission to help companies, and I hope the one thing that you take away from today is please be unforgettable with anyone that you speak to, your customers, your friends, your family, just in life. Treat your customers as you would a loved one or a friend. What would you say to them? In what way? How would you treat them? What would you do for them? And let's take this mentality into business every day and create unforgettable experiences to everyone. But I think one of the most important messages is we need to have fun with it too. Because at the end of the day, life is for living, it should be fun, and business should be fun as well. So it's infectious, let's have fun in life and have fun in business too. So today, just really quickly, oh no, don't worry, we actually have something to offer you today. So with Ogilvy Change, we'd love to offer a business in here the opportunity to get a free marketing campaign where we send some handwritten letters to your customers and see what effects that has on your business. So Sam and David at the back have got this amazing post box. So if you come and talk to us, drop your contact details in, one company here today can win the opportunity to be unforgettable with their customers. So thank you very much for having me.
Charlotte Pearce, what a Wonder Woman, right? Thank you so much, Charlotte. At the back here.
Just a very quick thank you. First of all, make sure you meet Dr. Gilbert Roberts, who's on the pink table, because you've just proved exactly my point about signalling behaviours that you would only engage in if you're interested in a proper relationship rather than the predatory transaction. I think it's fantastic.
Sounds great.
The second thing I was just going to say before Tara tells you things about lunch is if you're free over lunch, particularly if you're a client who's got a small five-figure sum that they don't know what to do with, and you'd like to encourage the promotion of women adopting STEM careers, Serian Sumner will be over there in the corner, representative and in fact, manager of Soapbox Science, which encourages female scientists to go out to school children and younger people to promote, at exactly the age when it makes a difference, to promote careers in STEM subjects. Incidentally, she's also one of the world's leading experts on wasps. So if you haven't got 10 or 20...
It's amazing that she's not the world's leading expert on trains.
She makes the very, very fair point, I think, that wasps are very unfairly branded relative to bees. So I'll...
Thank you, Rory. I have to answer this one question up here about authenticity, just because I really want to highlight the fact that this is a social enterprise and that the people that are writing these handwritten letters are, in many cases, disabled, are not able to work, are single mothers, and they are getting work from this, but also that the research that has been done suggests that even when that letter is handwritten and that at the bottom of the letter it says this letter wasn't written by Bill, the CEO, but it was written by somebody who's at a disadvantage, this is a social enterprise, that people are still very much engaged and they've read the letter right through to the end and that it doesn't affect their view of the business or brand, except perhaps positively.